Hello friends, Wildly of Wyld Vampire here with your emotional and energetic reading for the month of March. So I started this year. I'll be offering a longer video at the beginning of each month and then shorter videos each moon day to help you tune into the month as a whole and then still get your weekly breakdowns. And so for this month of March, we are stepping into the Tower card. Now, before you get your panties in a bunch, I don't think any tarot cards are negative or bad, right? They all have medicine and lessons for us, and the Tower is no different. It speaks to a time where we feel like things are happening to us, happening from external sources, and that feel out of control. And this makes so much sense because March, we hold the equinox in that space. We're beginning to make that transition into spring, and things are going to feel topsy-turvy, right? Like springtime, we have those beautiful, warm, sunny days, blue skies, and you're like, oh, finally spring is here. And then it snows or rains the next day. It's just very chaotic, right? And that is part and parcel for our equinox times, for those transitions. Transitions are chaotic. They happen external to us. We don't have necessarily a lot of say in the external circumstances. The only thing we can really hold and master is ourselves and our responses to whatever external factors are going on. So that is going to be the general holding of the month of March. And of course, remembering this whole year 2024 is characterized by the Strength card. Strength being the archetype of finding our own version of balance and flexibility, right? Like meeting our challenges head on, looking our life in the eye, looking the systems that we are around and complicit to in the eye, and finding our own way of navigating them, of creating revolution, evolution, whatever your place is in this drama that we are all watching unfold around us. So this month we have this Tower energy. And the breakdown of each of the weeks is very fascinating. We have several major arcana cards. So this tells me as a collective, we are on point. We are really walking the path that has been set out for us. And it might be uncomfortable, but that's okay. Like we're here to experience everything. We're here to experience sorrow and joy. We're here to experience pleasure and pain. Like we're meant to hold the dichotomy of polarity. That's part of our gifts as a human animal, is the ability to experience nuance and experience the fullness and actually be cognizant of that experience. And so as we begin this month on March 4th, the first moon day, we are met with the sun, which is quite interesting in a Tower month. So what this says to me is that this very first week, we are going to see the areas in our lives where this dysfunction or dis-ease or crunchiness from the Tower are going to come up. And they are going to be in areas where we have previously felt clean and clear, where we felt like there was a good relationship or a good balance that we were working with. Again, this isn't good or bad or right or wrong. Everything evolves. Everything changes. That's the beauty of life. We are these dynamic beings going through a dynamic life process. So this sun card is telling me in this first week of March, beginning March 4th, some places where you haven't placed attention, where you've made assumptions about comfort or safety or security, are going to come up for evaluation. Great, let them come, okay? Then we step into the dark moon on March 10th, and this is characterized by the Great Mystery card. So whatever place in your life that you recognize is going to need some attention or some tending, it's still going to feel unknown about what direction to move in by the time this dark moon rolls around. That's okay. Sometimes the best wisdom and learnings come in these pregnant pauses where we don't know what the next direction is, and we just have to tread water. We just have to tread water, be with what is, build our tenacity, really gather our resources so that when we do know, we can take that inspired action and have the energy to back that movement, right? Because the next day, on Moon Day, March 11th, we have the Hanged One. And so this tells me this second week of March, we're still in that pregnant pause. We're still in that discomfort of waiting, of holding, of really wanting something to change, but it's just not quite divine time yet. It's just not quite ready. So how do we lean into the medicine of the Hanged One? As you can see, it's a picture of this person in a very uncomfortable situation. Like there is nothing more awkward than being tied up and hung upside down, blood rushing to your head, incapacitated. And yet this person is meditating. This person is holding still. This person is gathering, waiting for the right time to make the next move, and recognizing that there's no action to take. Sometimes we just have to sit in the discomfort, and that's okay. It's totally okay, right? Because then it moves, it shifts into the next moon day, March 18th, with the Knight of Swords. So this third week of March is where we're really going to see the shift in the energy, where we're going to be called to begin moving, to take that inspired action, to lay down the boundary, because we now know what the boundary needs to be, to have the really hard conversation that we've just been dancing around for the last couple of weeks. This is also the week of the equinox. So it makes so much sense to me that that is why the energy would shift, that we would go from this inertia and discomfort into finally taking action. This night, it's the night of fire, it's the night of movement, it's the night of practical, actual action steps. So really prepare yourself for this third week. That's where we're gonna take some initiative. We're really going to feel momentum begin building in our system, and give yourself permission up until that point to rest. Give yourself permission to take things slow, to breathe until you feel that shift in your system. And then finally, we round out the Moonth on March 25th, Moon Day. Also happens to be full moon. And we are rounding it out here with the Devil. So again, this is one of the cards that might be considered negative or less than preferred, especially compared here with the Tower. The Devil for me is when our addictive tendencies and patterns of comfort start to rise to the surface. So this week you might begin to feel your frayed edges of this waiting and pausing and then taking action cycle throughout the month. You might find in this final week you have a larger propensity for leaning on your comfort mechanisms. Sugar, salt, media, sex, numbing out, whatever your flavor of numbing out is, there's going to be a higher desire to want to do that. And I pulled a clarifying card because I really wanted to know, well, what is this Devil in relationship to? And we got the 8 of Swords. And so what this tells me is that at this full moon, you are going to feel these urges to numb because we are going to see the places where we were unwilling to take action the week before. And I say that with zero shame, zero judgment. We are all human. We are all in this together. And we all like to avoid discomfort. None of us really appreciate or enjoy being awkward or being the one that has to have the hard conversation or lay down the boundary. And so often we resist, we procrastinate, or we do things half-assed, right? Excuse me. Just know you're not alone. We're all in this together. So be really gentle with yourself. Be really kind. Be sweet. Talk nice to yourself. As the devil arises, as these tower moments arise, remember that how you speak and think and behave to yourself really, really matters. It really matters. So if you notice at the end of the month, oh, I only said half of the thing that I needed to say to that person. And look at that. Now it's coming back to bite me in the butt. Just remember, remind yourself, I'm doing the best I can. I make good choices. I love myself. I am perfectly imperfect. Everything is moving at the exact right time. I am exactly where I need to be. Thank you for showing me this data, and now I know what to do, right? It's a vastly different energy than calling ourselves nasty names or shaming ourselves for not doing things exactly right the first time. You get to be a messy human. We're all learning how to do this thing called relating together. We're all learning how to share space, how to enter a unified field. And we're not skillful at it. It's okay. So you get to keep trying. You get to keep learning. This is going to be a month with some sticky challenges. Keep showing up. Keep doing your best. You're doing great. I love you so, so much. I'm sending you so much love and care. And I will tune in with you again every week. So stick with it. Love yourself. And I will see you next week. Bye for now.